Are you stuck in a toxic relationship with someone who constantly manipulates, disrespects, or drains your energy? Have you ever wondered when it's time to let go, even if that person is a family member or a close friend? If so, this video is exactly what you need to hear. Toxic relationships can be emotionally and mentally draining, and yet many of us hold on to them out of fear or guilt. The reality is, we deserve better. In this video, we will uncover 9 key signs that it's time to cut ties with someone who is no longer contributing to your well-being. From manipulation to a lack of trust, these signs will help you recognize when the relationship has crossed a dangerous line. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the crucial signs that indicate when it's time to walk away, but you'll also learn how to preserve your emotional health, rebuild your peace of mind, and surround yourself with people who genuinely support and uplift you. If you're ready to reclaim your power and strengthen your mental and emotional balance, stick with us until the end. These insights could change the way you approach relationships forever. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. 1. Constant manipulation, a silent destroyer of the soul. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling confused, doubting yourself, or questioning your thoughts, even when you were sure of them just moments before? That subtle, creeping feeling that something isn't quite right, that's often the result of emotional manipulation. And let me tell you, it is one of the most painful and disorienting experiences you can go through in a relationship. When someone constantly questions your thoughts, dismisses your emotions, or tries to control your decisions, that's not love or concern. It's manipulation. It's a dangerous game where your reality is slowly twisted. They'll minimize your opinions, invalidate your feelings, and plant tiny seeds of doubt until you begin to believe that your truth doesn't matter. And that is deeply damaging. In my opinion, this kind of manipulation is one of the most emotionally draining things a person can endure. The manipulator often uses guilt, silent treatments, or intimidation, making you feel small, unsure, and unworthy. Over time, you lose your sense of self. You start putting their needs ahead of your own, trying desperately to win their approval, even if it means sacrificing your peace and sanity. It's heartbreaking because manipulation doesn't always scream, it whispers. It wears you down, piece by piece, until you're a shadow of the person you used to be. And sometimes you don't even realize it's happening until you're already emotionally exhausted and questioning everything you once believed about yourself. No one deserves to be in a relationship where they constantly feel judged, controlled, or belittled. True connection should lift you, not tear you down. If you're experiencing this kind of emotional tug-of-war, please know that you are not overreacting. Your feelings are valid. And more importantly, you deserve to be in a relationship where your voice matters and your heart feels safe. 2. Lack of support when you're left to fight alone. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, battling your challenges in isolation with no one by your side to offer comfort or guidance? It's an excruciating feeling, one that can leave you feeling empty, lonely, and frustrated. Relationships, at their core, are meant to provide a haven, a place where we can lean on each other in times of need. They are supposed to be built on a foundation of mutual support, encouragement, and comfort. But when that support is absent, it's as if the very fabric of the relationship starts to unravel. When you're in a relationship where you consistently face difficulties alone, it's more than just an inconvenience. It's a glaring sign that something is wrong. Life is full of challenges, both big and small, and we all need someone to share the burden with. If you find yourself carrying every emotional weight, every financial stress, or every personal struggle without a partner to stand by you, it can feel like you're walking a road that never ends. It's incredibly painful to feel like you have to face the storm without a hand to hold, and it can slowly chip away at your sense of self-worth. In a healthy relationship, Both individuals support each other emotionally, practically, and mentally. There is an understanding that when one person stumbles, the other is there to lift them. When life gets tough, it should be a shared experience, not one you face alone. But if time and time again you find yourself in situations where you need help, and that help is nowhere to be found, it speaks volumes about the relationship. It's not about asking for the world, it's about having someone who genuinely cares enough to be there for you when you need them most. When you're unsupported, you're left to fend for yourself, and that can lead to feelings of isolation. You may start to feel like you're invisible, as though your struggles don't matter, or that your pain is something you should bear in silence. The frustration builds, and eventually, that sense of isolation can become suffocating. It's emotionally exhausting, draining your energy and spirit until you start questioning your worth. Ask yourself, is this relationship contributing to your well-being, or is it draining the life out of you? Are you being nurtured and uplifted, or are you constantly fighting to hold things together on your own? A relationship should feel like a partnership, a team effort where both people share the load. If you find that you're the only one doing the heavy lifting, it might be time to take a step back and reconsider whether this bond is healthy for you. Ultimately, relationships are meant to enrich your life, not deplete it. You deserve to have people in your life who support you, celebrate your victories, and help you through the hard times. If those basic elements of support are missing, it's not just a minor issue, it's a sign that it's time to reassess whether this connection is worth holding on to. Don't let yourself be stuck in a one-sided relationship that only leaves you feeling empty. Your emotional health and well-being are far too precious to waste on someone who isn't there when you need them the most. 3. Excessive complaining, a drain on your peace and energy. Have you ever been in a conversation where all the other person seems to do is complain, vent, and focus on what's wrong with the world? It's exhausting, isn't it? The constant negativity can slowly chip away at your sense of peace and joy. We all go through rough patches in life, and it's okay to vent or express frustration now and then, but when complaining becomes a constant habit, it creates a toxic environment. And let me tell you, being around someone who complains incessantly can feel like you're carrying a weight that's not even yours to bear. When someone complains non-stop, it doesn't just affect them, it affects everyone around them. It creates an emotionally charged, negative atmosphere that can completely drain your energy. I've experienced it myself, and I can tell you that constant exposure to this kind of negativity will start to weigh heavily on your mind, body, and spirit. Every conversation feels heavy, and your optimism begins to slip away, replaced by a growing sense of frustration and despair. You start to feel like you're stuck in a cycle of gloom, with no way out. It can feel like you're living under a cloud, one that gets darker with every complaint they make. The more you're exposed to this kind of negativity, the harder it becomes to stay positive. You may start to question your outlook on life, wondering if there's something wrong with you for wanting to stay upbeat. The worst part is that it's not even your problem, yet it takes so much out of you, your sense of tranquility, your peace of mind. Everything starts to erode. You might begin to feel overwhelmed, as if you're carrying the burden of their complaints on top of your issues. It can also leave you feeling unheard, like your voice doesn't matter in the conversation because the focus is always on their problems. What's more, constantly being in the presence of someone who complains excessively can make it difficult to engage in any meaningful or sincere dialogue. Conversations lose their depth when all that's being discussed is what's wrong, what's broken, or what's not working. It's like trying to have a heartfelt discussion when there's an invisible weight in the room, pulling every word down. The negativity becomes so consuming that even the smallest moments of joy or peace feel overshadowed. Recognizing when complaining has gone too far is crucial. I've learned that it's important to acknowledge the impact that excessive negativity can have on your own mental and emotional well-being. If you find yourself constantly drained, emotionally exhausted, or feeling more stressed after spending time with someone who complains endlessly, it's time to take a hard look at the situation. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you certainly shouldn't have to sacrifice your serenity just to accommodate someone else's constant dissatisfaction. If this negativity doesn't change, it might be necessary to decide to protect yourself and your peace. Sometimes, walking away from an ongoing cycle of complaining is the only way to reclaim your emotional health. You deserve relationships that lift you, that offer encouragement and understanding, not ones that leave you feeling drained and defeated. So, don't be afraid to set boundaries or distance yourself when the constant complaining becomes too much. Your peace, your energy, and your well-being are worth protecting. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 4. Feeling exhausted when relationships leave you empty. Have you ever walked away from spending time with someone and felt completely drained, like every ounce of energy was sucked out of you? It's more than just feeling physically tired. It's a deep emotional exhaustion that leaves you questioning your vitality. Relationships are meant to uplift us, to make us feel supported, loved, and valued. But when a relationship constantly leaves you feeling worn out, it's a powerful red flag that something is off balance. In a healthy, fulfilling relationship, energy is meant to flow freely between both individuals. You should feel rejuvenated, energized, and supported after spending time with someone who cares about you. The give and take of love, kindness, and understanding should feel reciprocal, like a balanced exchange where both parties benefit. But when you consistently give, and the other person offers little or nothing in return, that's when the emotional toll becomes undeniable. It's like pouring from an empty cup eventually. There's nothing left for you. This one-sided dynamic can lead to frustration, resentment, and a sense of deep emotional exhaustion. You may feel like you're constantly the one making all the effort, doing all the caring, and investing all the energy, while the other person remains emotionally distant or self-absorbed. It's a pattern that wears you down over time, leaving you questioning why you keep giving when it feels like there's no reciprocity. The truth is that no one should be expected to carry a relationship alone. We all need to feel supported and appreciated, not just by words, but through actions that show we matter. If, after each encounter, you feel depleted instead of invigorated, it's crucial to ask yourself, is this relationship benefiting my emotional and mental well-being? We all deserve relationships that nourish us, not drain us. Feeling exhausted after spending time with someone isn't just a physical sign, it's an emotional one. It's your heart telling you that something isn't right, that you're being asked to give more than you're receiving. And if this continues, it can ultimately lead to resentment and a loss of self-worth. It's important to recognize when your emotional energy is being exploited. You are worthy of relationships where you feel valued, heard, and cared for. If you're constantly feeling drained, it may be time to step back and evaluate whether this connection is truly helping you grow or whether it's holding you back. You deserve to be surrounded by people who help refill your cup, not leave you empty. It's okay to prioritize your well-being and walk away from relationships that are taking more than they're giving. Your energy is precious, and you deserve to preserve it for the people and things that truly support and uplift you. 5. Lack of trust, the silent erosion of connection. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. It's the invisible thread that binds people together, giving them the confidence to be vulnerable, to open up, and to build something real. Without trust, however, a relationship is like a house built on sand, constantly shifting, always unstable. When trust is missing, or worse, when it's broken, everything starts to unravel. Doubts creep in, suspicions take root, and what was once a safe and secure connection now feels like a battlefield. I believe trust is sacred. It's the heart of emotional intimacy. And without it, the connection between people begins to weaken. When trust is broken, it's not just a small mistake, it's a crack in the foundation of your bond. Revealed secrets, promises that were never kept, or hurtful gossip can inflict wounds that take time to heal. But sometimes, they may never fully heal at all. And even worse, they leave scars, emotional scars, that change the way we see the other person, and even ourselves. Every interaction becomes tainted by uncertainty, making it hard to know who to trust, or if you should trust at all. The absence of trust makes everything feel heavy. It's hard to be yourself when you're constantly wondering if your words and actions will be twisted or misunderstood. It's even harder to enjoy a relationship when you're always on edge, second-guessing the other person's intentions. You may begin to hide parts of yourself, afraid that showing your true thoughts or feelings will be used against you. The spontaneity, the easy flow of connection that once existed, is now clouded by doubt and guardedness. I've learned that broken trust can create a deep fracture in the relationship, one that's incredibly hard to heal. And while forgiveness is important, some wounds are cut so deep that they leave permanent marks. Broken promises, violated confidences, and the harsh words spoken behind someone's back don't just fade away, they linger in the heart, slowly poisoning the relationship. It can be incredibly painful to realize that someone you once trusted has betrayed you, but it's crucial to recognize this as a serious problem. The damage it causes isn't just emotional. It can tear apart your sense of security and peace. In these situations, I believe it's vital to protect your emotional integrity. If trust is broken repeatedly, it may be time to reevaluate whether this person truly belongs in your life. The wisest and most courageous choice in some cases is to cut off contact with those who have proven unreliable. It may be hard, even heartbreaking, but you deserve to be surrounded by people who respect your trust, who cherish your heart, and who never take your confidence for granted. Trust, once lost, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. And while forgiveness can be a powerful force, sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from relationships that no longer serve your peace of mind. Your emotional health and well-being are far too precious to put in the hands of someone who has broken your trust. 6. Excessive self-aggrandizement, when their world is the only one that matters. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation where the other person dominates every word, every topic, always circling back to their successes, their own experiences, and their achievements? It's as if you're invisible, as if your thoughts, your life, and your experiences don't even matter. That's the painful reality of excessive self-aggrandizement, a pattern where someone monopolizes the conversation, endlessly praising themselves, leaving little room for you to exist, let alone share your own story. Over time, this dynamic can leave you feeling utterly neglected and insignificant, as though your voice is barely heard, if at all. I've been there, and I can tell you it's an incredibly alienating feeling. When someone consistently turns every conversation back to themselves, it's like being stuck in a one-way street where they are the only driver, and you're left standing at the side, watching them go. Their successes and achievements are endlessly celebrated, while your thoughts and feelings are disregarded. It doesn't just feel frustrating, it feels like a part of you is slowly being erased from the relationship. You begin to feel like you're living in the background of their life, always overshadowed, always overlooked. This kind of behavior doesn't just affect your emotions, it can also chip away at your self-esteem. In a healthy relationship, there should be a balanced exchange. Both people should feel heard, valued, and supported. You should feel that your voice matters just as much as theirs. But if you're constantly in a relationship where the other person only talks about themselves and shows little to no genuine interest in your life or accomplishments, it's easy to feel invisible. It's easy to feel like you're simply there to listen to their endless stories, their victories, and their self-praise, while your own needs and desires go unacknowledged. I truly believe that every person deserves to feel valued in a relationship. If your voice is being drowned out and you're made to feel small and insignificant, it's not just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. This constant disregard for your existence, this absence of mutual respect and attention, can have long-lasting effects on your confidence. It can erode the sense of self-worth that you've worked so hard to build. When you feel belittled or ignored in a relationship, it can leave you questioning your value and your place in the world. If this pattern continues, it's crucial to take a step back and ask yourself, is this relationship benefiting me, or is it damaging my sense of self? Is this person truly supportive, or are they only interested in their glory? No one should feel unappreciated or undervalued, especially in a relationship that's supposed to nurture and uplift. If you feel like your accomplishments are constantly dismissed and your thoughts go unheard, it may be time to make a bold decision. It's time to walk away from a connection that doesn't honor who you are and seek out relationships that offer balance, respect, and mutual recognition. You deserve to be seen, to be heard, and to have your voice respected just as much as anyone else. Don't let anyone diminish your worth. 7. One-sided relationship when you're talking to a wall. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where the other person dominates every word, leaving you barely a chance to speak? It's exhausting, isn't it? When you're in a one-sided relationship, it's like you're just a passive listener to their life story, with no space to share your own experiences or feelings. The more this happens, the more you start to feel ignored, as if your opinions don't matter. And this constant lack of reciprocity can be incredibly disheartening. It's like you're pouring your heart out, but your words are falling on deaf ears. In a healthy, balanced relationship, both people should feel equally heard. You should both have the freedom to express yourselves and share your joys, frustrations, and thoughts. A conversation should be an exchange, where both individuals actively engage, listening as much as they speak. But in a one-sided relationship, this exchange doesn't exist. Instead, you're left in the background, with your voice drowned out by their never-ending monologue. This imbalance leaves you feeling disconnected, as if your thoughts and feelings don't matter. It's like you're only valued as an audience, not a participant. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. I know it can be hard to recognize this dynamic, especially when you want to believe that the other person cares. But when you realize that the relationship has become unbalanced, that's the first step toward reclaiming your emotional health. It's essential to have an honest conversation about the need for mutual exchange. Let them know how it feels when your voice is constantly overlooked and how it's affecting your sense of connection. Sometimes, this simple conversation can help the other person become more aware of their behavior and lead to positive change. However, not everyone is open to self-reflection or change. If the other person refuses to acknowledge your needs or continues to dominate every conversation without showing any interest in your thoughts, it may be time to take a step back and seriously reconsider the relationship. You deserve to be in a partnership where your voice matters just as much as theirs, where your opinions are valued, and where the dialogue flows both ways. If you're constantly being ignored or belittled, it may be time to let go and seek a relationship that offers you the respect, understanding, and reciprocity that you truly deserve. No one should feel invisible in their relationships. 8. Boundary violation. When your personal space is constantly invaded. Have you ever felt like your personal space, your thoughts, or your emotions were being relentlessly invaded? It's one of the most uncomfortable experiences, especially when it comes from someone who's supposed to care about you. Boundary violation occurs when someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, whether physical, emotional, or mental, leading you to feel like you're constantly being pushed beyond your limits. These boundaries are not just walls, they are essential to maintaining your sense of safety, autonomy, and self-respect within any relationship. And when those boundaries are ignored, it doesn't just feel disrespectful, it feels like a direct attack on your identity. Personal boundaries are there to protect us. They are what help us feel safe, respected, and in control of our own lives. But when a person consistently crosses those boundaries, it causes immense stress, anxiety, and frustration. You start to feel as though you're losing control over your own life. These violations don't always look the same. They can be subtle or blatant. It might be someone prying into your private affairs without permission, asking personal questions that make you uncomfortable, ignoring your preferences, or even pressuring you into doing things you don't want to do. These actions, no matter how small they seem, add up and create an overwhelming sense of being disrespected and violated. I know from experience that when your boundaries are constantly ignored, it's easy to feel like you're being worn down bit by bit. You may start to question yourself, wondering if you're overreacting or being too sensitive. But here's the truth. Your boundaries are not only valid, they are crucial to your emotional and physical well-being. The more your boundaries are disrespected, the more it erodes your sense of peace. You start to feel disconnected from your sense of self, and worse, trapped in a relationship that drains you instead of nurtures you. Recognizing when your boundaries are being crossed is the first step toward protecting yourself. It's essential to communicate clearly what your boundaries are and what the consequences will be if they are violated. Sometimes a calm but firm conversation can make all the difference in helping the other person understand your needs. However, if, despite your best efforts, the other person continues to ignore your boundaries, it may be time to take a hard look at the relationship. You deserve to feel safe, valued, and respected in every relationship you have. If someone consistently violates your boundaries, it's not a sign of their love or care, it's a sign of disrespect. In some cases, walking away may be the most loving thing you can do for yourself. Defending your personal space is essential to preserving your emotional balance and maintaining your integrity. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and if that respect isn't there, it might be time to make the difficult but necessary decision to let go. Remember, you are worthy of relationships where your boundaries are honored, not trampled on. 9. Lack of respect. When love turns into disrespect. Respect is one of the cornerstones of any strong, healthy relationship. Without it, everything begins to crumble. It's the silent force that allows us to feel valued, understood, and cared for in our interactions with others. When respect is present, it creates an environment of trust, understanding, and emotional safety. But when respect is lacking, it's a loud warning sign that something has gone wrong. It's an unmistakable indication that the relationship has veered into dangerous territory, where harm, rather than love, is being served. Mutual respect isn't just about polite gestures or saying the right words. It's about treating the other person with dignity, kindness, and consideration. It's about honoring their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, even when they differ from your own. But when respect disappears, the relationship begins to deteriorate in heartbreaking ways. It can emerge as indifference, where your thoughts and feelings are ignored as if they don't matter. It can show up as contempt, where your worth is belittled, or worse, as outright verbal insults or aggressive behavior that leaves deep emotional scars. I've experienced the devastating effects of disrespect, and let me tell you, it's one of the most destructive forces in any relationship. When respect fades, it chips away at your self-esteem, making you feel unworthy and invisible. You start to question your value, wondering if you're being too sensitive or if your emotions are even justified. It's a suffocating feeling to constantly feel as though you're not enough, no matter how much you give. Over time, this constant erosion of self-worth can lead to deep emotional distress, causing feelings of insecurity and loneliness. A relationship without respect creates an atmosphere of distrust and distance. It makes it impossible to maintain true intimacy because intimacy thrives on mutual appreciation, care, and emotional safety. Without respect, every interaction is tainted by negativity, and every attempt at connection feels hollow. The foundation is cracked, and it becomes harder and harder to feel safe or understood. The emotional connection that once existed begins to wither, replaced by bitterness, resentment, and sadness. Recognizing the absence of respect is vital to protecting your emotional well-being. It's important to acknowledge the warning signs before they consume you. If you find yourself in a relationship where respect is consistently lacking, despite your best efforts to communicate and address the issue, it's crucial to take a step back and evaluate whether the relationship is worth saving. You deserve to be with someone who cherishes you, who treats you with kindness and consideration, and who makes you feel seen and valued. If the disrespect continues, no matter how hard you try to make it work, it may be time to let go. Walking away from a relationship that continuously disrespects you isn't a failure. It's an act of self-respect. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your emotional health. You are worthy of love, kindness, and genuine connection. Don't settle for anything less. As we wrap up today's video, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. We've explored the key signs that can help you recognize when a relationship has become toxic or unbalanced. From constant manipulation and lack of support to boundary violations and disrespect, these are critical warning signs that should never be ignored. So, what have you learned so far? Is there one specific thing that stood out to you? One lesson that you can take and apply to your own life to protect your emotional well-being and create healthier, more balanced relationships? I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you've learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to leave your comment below, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss more insightful content like this. Your support means the world, and together we can continue creating a community of growth, understanding, and empowerment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.